Hey everyone, welcome to another YouTube painting process video. This time around I'll be showing you the process for my second K-pop Demon Hunters artwork. At the time of creating this video, it's pretty darn popular, and I know those who might look back at this later on will probably laugh at it, but I promise you it was big at this time. As usual, I'll be discussing a topic, and this time around, I'll be giving you the top 5 reasons why you shouldn't be an artist. Now, obviously, this is me being ironic. I encourage everyone to draw and paint, and I even would say it's an essential skill for everyone, especially growing up, just because it's something that can get your creative juices flowing, and it'll train your mind to see things in a different manner than other methods of education. Now, going back to my topic, obviously I am making this video stating specifically the reasons why you shouldn't be a professional illustrator, which is what I am, and elaborating on countless emails that have gone from high school students asking about this industry and field. I try not to scare people, but there are some things to mention if you are looking to be professional in drawing and painting and planning for that. The first reason is you shouldn't be an artist if you hate being vulnerable and you're easily offended by criticism. You have to bear in mind that your art does not lie. In a normal corporate job with a company where there's thousands to tens of thousands of workers, you can pretty much hide your responsibilities and your efforts within the company. It's hard to keep track when there's more and more people working on something. Whereas if you're trying to be an illustrator, you are essentially putting your heart and soul into your work. You are showing it in a visual manner for the world to see. And everybody who looks at your work will have different opinions of it. In fact, I've made a previous video mentioning that perhaps only 1%, if even that, of all the people looking at your work will actually like it. There's no such thing as a style that is universally liked. So imagine that 99% of people will just be indifferent or downright hate your work. You need to have a thick skin for that. So if you feel like you are the type to be easily offended by what others say about you, then either work on that or perhaps this field might not be for you. You're going to be showing yourself as if you're walking around naked on the street when you show your artwork to other people. So you have to be ready for that. Of course, I do want to mention that you do need a bit of ego, because as an artist, you have to be able to put your foot down when it comes to your own opinions and your style. But you also have to be open-minded enough for criticisms and other feedback, many which are not constructive at all. So, as you would imagine, if you watch a movie that you dislike, most likely you're just going to tell yourself that the movie sucked. And that's what's going to happen for most of the people who won't like your work. They might just tell you outright they don't like it, even if they don't know the exact reasons. I would say out of the 5 reasons I'll be mentioning, this is probably the most important one, but I'll be going over the next 4 now. Number 2, if you're not willing to do the work alone. This is honestly pretty obvious, but it bears mentioning. When you're drawing and painting, you're going to be exploring your own mind most of the time, and you're probably going to need at least a bit of an introverted personality to really enjoy doing this. If you enjoy work that requires you to be social, then perhaps being an artist is not for you. Realistically, most of the things that you're going to be doing will be done alone. I mean, you're drawing and painting your own artwork, so it's not like this is some shared activity at a party or something. Now, that's not to say if you work in a studio that you're going to be alone. Obviously, you're going to be socializing, you're going to be dealing with the art directors and other peers and that sort of thing. But the act of actually drawing and painting is largely a solo sport. So if you're not ready for that and you don't feel good at being alone and exploring your creativity, then perhaps this might not be for you. Number 3, if you believe art is purely subjective with no objective standards, then you might want to rethink things. This is probably something I'll go in more in depth in the future video, but one of my major pet peeves when it comes to art is when people believe that there is just no standard, no fundamentals, technical fundamentals of art. After all, we've kind of conditioned people that putting a urinal on display is art. So I'm not surprised when people like using the excuse that, well, art is purely subjective, so therefore I can do whatever I want. There's no standard of fundamentals. However I want to represent the world, that's how it is. If you're watching this, you probably know that that's not true. If you're looking to do anything that's grounded in reality and representation of reality, then you'll understand that there are things to learn. There's a lot, actually. This is a science just as much as it is a craft. If you are in art school or planning to go in art school, chances are they're going to be teaching you the full human anatomy of the body like you were trying to be a doctor. That's just one of the primary examples of what I mean, where yes, there are objective reality standards that you have to adhere to if you are trying to draw. There are reasons why colors are what they are in reality. There are reasons why our bodies look the way we do. So as an artist, you have to be prepared to learn the technical side of things in addition to exploring your creativity and displaying it. Number 4, if your primary goal is just fame and money, oh dear God, please don't be that person where you're doing this because you just want to be popular and have a lot of money. There are way easier and more consistent ways of making money, and chances are we're not going to be Picasso. Bear in mind that you'll be grinding a lot of hours just to learn the process of drawing and painting. So if you don't genuinely enjoy this and you're just looking at the light at the end of the tunnel, then you're not going to get through that grind easily. Shockingly, I've known people who would just go to arts class because they think they can pick up girls there and that sort of thing. They're going to be popular in the school. Not going to mention names, but don't expect that to happen. It's just a pipe dream. But hey, of course, if you actually end up becoming the next Rembrandt, then all power to you. I just wouldn't advise you to be an artist if those are the primary conditions of doing the work. And finally, number 5, and something I've mentioned in previous videos, if you question your own work ethic and drive for drawing and painting, then you might want to reconsider. I've framed this in different ways, but it's basically in the idea that you have to be inspired to draw and to do the work. Now, of course, if you're doing this as a hobby, all power to you. Draw whenever you want. But if you are doing it professionally, be prepared to draw when it's raining and you're feeling down, you're just hungover from a bad night of drinking, and you're sleep deprived, that sort of thing. You're still going to have to draw because you have to pay the bills. If you need to be motivated, if you need to be inspired, then don't do this professionally. You're going to be drawing stuff that isn't going to be savory for you, a lot of work is going to feel mindless and redundant, but you still have to do this anyways because ultimately it's a job. After doing art professionally for over 10 years now, it honestly stopped being for fun for a long time already. Now I can say that I enjoy it enough to keep going, and it's something that I just really like to do. It's something I look forward to doing when I wake up. Even if I'm having a bad day, I can still wake up and draw. So don't seek to do this professionally if you feel like you won't be able to do the work when it's necessary. And it's perfectly okay if you just like to draw when you feel like it, but as in a hobby. Anyways, thank you for watching. Here is the final piece for the K-pop Demon Hunters artwork here. As usual, like this video, subscribe to my channel. I would really like to continue doing this, especially in the face of AI videos and art. I want to continue contributing to the human cause for art. So any of your support will be greatly appreciated. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.